Attraction has never been about the surface level things most men obsess over. It is not defined by the sharpness of your jawline, the size of your bank account, or how loudly you can project yourself into a room. Attraction works on a far deeper and quieter level, guided by instincts that developed long before modern dating existed. Women are not scanning for noise. They are observing the subtle cues that reveal who a man truly is beneath the performance. They notice the details that most men never think about, the small behaviors that speak louder than any rehearsed charm or flashy gesture ever could. Long before a man realizes he is being evaluated, a woman has already taken mental notes, reading signals he didn't even know he was sending. These signals are not dramatic or exaggerated. They are understated qualities that shape a woman's emotional response without either person saying a word. High-value men express these qualities naturally, almost effortlessly. They do not try to impress. They do not try to dominate the room. They do not perform masculinity the way insecure men do. Instead, their presence is communicated through controlled energy, aligned behavior, and quiet confidence. Average men overlook these behaviors entirely, dismissing them as unimportant because they do not produce immediate attention. But women do not fall for the loudest man. They fall for the man whose internal world feels strong, organized, and meaningful, even if he barely speaks. Attraction is a biological response, not a logical choice. And the men who master subtle behaviors understand how to influence that response without manipulation or games. We begin with the first, and perhaps most foundational, quiet behavior, a man's calm and grounded energy. This is the type of presence that cannot be faked, because it comes from lived experience, inner work, and emotional discipline. A man with this energy does not rush, panic, or scatter his attention. He enters a room without needing to announce himself because his silence already communicates confidence and stability. This calmness feels safe to women in a world full of overstimulation and emotional volatility. It signals that this is a man who does not break under pressure, who does not crumble when faced with stress, who does not need to prove his worth to anyone. His steadiness becomes a lighthouse in chaos, and women feel it instantly. Yet calmness is not merely the absence of noise. Quiet men are not always grounded men. Some are quiet because they are insecure, anxious, or afraid to speak. A truly calm man carries stillness from within. His silence comes from certainty, not fear. Women can feel the difference before a single word is spoken. And this difference is what draws them closer. Because beneath that calm exterior lies something deeper: discipline, resilience, and an identity formed through challenge rather than comfort. And it is from this foundation that the next behavior emerges, revealing even more about the kind of man a woman instinctively respects. A man with calm and grounded energy stands out precisely because he does not compete for attention. While others rush to fill silence with noise, stories, or exaggerated gestures, he allows the moment to unfold around him. Women remember this man, not because he demanded to be seen, but because his presence lingered long after he left the room. His steadiness creates a contrast that feels almost rare today, where nervous energy, impulsive behavior, and constant stimulation dominate modern interactions. This kind of calm is not passive, it is powerful. It communicates that the man is anchored within himself, that he does not need validation to feel secure, and that he has trained his emotions instead of being controlled by them. Women instinctively sense this. They lean toward men who make them feel emotionally protected, not through force, but through stability. This calmness is not something a man can fake by simply being quiet. Many men mistake silence for confidence. But silence without inner structure only exposes insecurity. A calm man is not quiet because he is unsure. He is quiet because he is centered. He has faced storms, challenge, disappointments, and moments where he had to rebuild himself. That experience shapes his energy. He does not panic when something goes wrong. He does not crumble when confronted. He remains composed because he has learned that emotional stability is a form of strength, a discipline that transforms how the world responds to him. Women, consciously or not, watch how a man handles life's pressure, because it reveals who he will be when things get difficult. Calmness shows reliability, consistency, and emotional safety. It is a superpower in a world where most people are overwhelmed by their own impulses. And from this calm foundation, a second behavior naturally follows how a man takes care of himself. The same inner discipline that keeps him grounded begins to show in his physical appearance, his grooming, and the standards he sets for his own body and environment. Women notice these things instantly, not because they want perfection, but because self-maintenance reveals self-respect. A man who honors himself externally often reflects a man who is disciplined internally. And this is where the next quiet behavior begins to take shape, telling a deeper story about his identity, his values, and the standards he refuses to lower. Self-care in a man is far deeper than vanity or trying to impress a woman. It is an outward reflection of inner discipline, an unspoken message that he values himself enough to maintain his appearance, his hygiene, and his physical health. Women read these details effortlessly. They notice the clean haircut, the trimmed beard, the fresh skin, the well-fitted clothes, the subtle scent of someone who pays attention. These small details speak volumes about his standards. A man who takes care of himself is telling the world, without a word, that he refuses to let life wear him down, that he does not allow comfort to turn him into a lesser version of what he could be. This self-respect becomes instantly attractive, not because it is meant to attract, but because it signals order, structure, and pride in one's identity. Many men lose this edge over time. They stop maintaining themselves once they feel secure in a relationship or comfortable in life. Weight creeps on. Grooming becomes inconsistent. Clothes become an afterthought. And daily discipline slowly dissolves. Women see this decline quickly, often long before a man notices it in himself. To them, it is more than laziness. It feels like a man losing his drive, his ambition, and his self-love. A woman may not comment on it directly, but she feels the shift. She senses the lack of structure, the erosion of standards, the weakening of the masculine identity she was once drawn to. This is why self-maintenance matters so much. It communicates that a man is still hungry, still improving, still building himself rather than decaying under comfort. A well-kept man does not need to be perfect. He simply needs to show that he respects himself enough to invest in his body, his mind, and his environment. This makes him lighter to be around, less burdensome, and more attractive because discipline in one area of life spills into all others. And from this foundation of self-respect emerges another quiet but powerful behavior, the ability to lead. Leadership is not something a man announces. It is something he embodies through decisiveness, direction, and the willingness to take responsibility. And this marks the beginning of the next essential trait that separates high-value men from the rest. True leadership in a man is never loud, forceful, or rooted in domination. It does not come from barking orders, raising one's voice, or trying to control others through intimidation. Those behaviors are actually signs of insecurity, the actions of someone who fears he won't be respected unless he demands it. Women see through that immediately. Real leadership is quiet and natural, expressed through decisiveness, clarity, and a steady willingness to take responsibility. A man who leads does not wait for someone else to tell him what to do, nor does he seek permission to move forward. He steps into a moment with direction, offering stability through his actions rather than his volume. When a woman hears a man say, "Here's the plan," something softens inside her, not because she wants to be controlled, but because she feels safer with a man who is capable of guiding through uncertainty. This form of leadership is deeply attractive because it removes emotional labor from the woman. She does not have to constantly make every decision, shape every plan, or carry the weight of initiative. A man who leads with quiet strength signals that he can protect, organize, and navigate life's challenges without collapsing into hesitation. Women are biologically attuned to sense this, not from a place of dependency, but from a place of natural relational polarity. Leadership in the masculine provides direction, and direction creates trust. The man who embodies this trait never needs to announce it. His actions reveal it long before his words do. But a crucial distinction must be made. Leadership is not control. It is not about forcing a woman into choices or pushing her into submission. True power lies in steady confidence, in the ability to decide without dismissing others, and in knowing when to step forward versus when to step back. Many men struggle with this balance. Some overcompensate with aggression, thinking dominance equals strength. Others retreat into passivity, thinking gentleness equals goodness. Yet, real leadership sits firmly in the middle, quiet, strong, grounded, and intentional. Women feel this because it creates emotional stability, the same stability found in calm energy and self-discipline. As we pause to acknowledge the value of men learning these truths, it becomes important to encourage them to engage, to support the message so it reaches those who need it most. A simple like or interaction helps these insights travel further, touching lives that may be struggling in silence. And once this moment of reflection settles, we return to the next quiet but powerful signal. Women read effortlessly the language of a man's eyes, a window into his ambition, confidence, pain, and purpose. A man's eyes reveal truths he may never speak aloud, and women read these truths with astonishing accuracy. Long before a man finishes a sentence, his eyes have already communicated his confidence, his insecurities, his hunger, his wounds, and his sense of direction. This is why eye language is such a powerful form of silent attraction. The eyes reflect the life a man is living. A man who wakes up with purpose carries a different intensity than a man who drifts without aim. Purpose sharpens the gaze, adding fire and focus. Discipline adds steadiness, removing chaos and impulsiveness. Pain, when processed rather than avoided, adds depth and resilience. Growth adds clarity. All these elements combine to create a presence in the eyes that no words can replicate. Women notice this instantly. They compare the eyes of a man who is internally grounded with the eyes of a man who is distracted, lost, or insecure. One set of eyes feels warm, steady, and alive. The other feels unstable, unsure, or disconnected. Even if a man tries to fake confidence with a strong voice or controlled facial expressions, his eyes betray his reality. They cannot lie. They cannot be rehearsed. They cannot be forced into authenticity. This is why the eyes of a man who has been through hardship but chose to rise from it are so captivating. His gaze carries the story of a fighter. Women sense that story. They are drawn to the men whose eyes reflect discipline, purpose, and direction, because those traits signal emotional safety and masculine strength. When a man truly lives with intention, when he challenges himself, holds himself accountable, stays consistent with his goals, and refuses to collapse into his weaknesses, his eyes evolve. They become intense without aggression, kind without softness, focused without rigidity. A man's eyes reveal whether he is a leader or a follower, grounded or unstable, growing or stagnating. And women respond instinctively, often without understanding why they feel the pull. This instinctual reaction is not about dominance or intimidation. It is about the emotional truth that radiates from him. Yet eyes alone are not enough. What gives them their power is alignment between a man's internal world and his external behavior. And that alignment comes from authenticity, the next quiet trait that separates high-value men from those who blend into the background. Authenticity is rare, but when a man embodies it, everything about him, including his eyes, becomes unmistakably real. Authenticity is one of the rarest and most magnetic qualities a man can possess. Not because it is difficult to express, but because so few men have the courage to live it. In a world where trends dictate behavior and social pressure encourages conformity, many men shape-shift their personalities to fit in, to be accepted, or to be liked. They copy humor, adopt opinions they don't truly believe, echo phrases they don't understand, and mold themselves into whatever they think will make them more appealing. Yet this very effort makes them invisible. Women sense when a man is performing rather than expressing who he truly is. They recognize when his personality feels borrowed, rehearsed, or inconsistent, and nothing kills attraction faster. An authentic man does not chase approval. He does not dilute his beliefs to avoid conflict or pretend to be someone he is not in order to gain affection. Instead, he stands firmly in his values, expresses his truth honestly, and allows his real personality flaws, quirks, strengths, and all to exist freely. This does not mean he is rude, stubborn, or careless. Authenticity is not rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It is the result of inner clarity and self-awareness. It grows from the willingness to do inner work, to understand one's identity, and to act in alignment with that identity, even when it is not the popular choice. Women are deeply drawn to this because it signals emotional courage and a strong sense of self, qualities that make a man irreplaceable. When a man tries to be someone else, he becomes forgettable. But when he embraces who he truly is, he becomes unmistakable. His presence is distinct. His voice carries conviction. His interactions feel grounded and genuine. Women feel safe with such men because authenticity eliminates the unpredictability that comes from masks and performances. There is no hidden agenda, no shifting personality, no uncertainty about who he might become tomorrow. Authenticity brings consistency, and consistency builds trust. Still, even an authentic man can struggle if he lacks emotional control. A strong identity means little if a man cannot manage how he reacts to pressure, conflict, and emotional triggers. And this leads us into the next quiet but undeniably powerful behavior women watch closely: low reactivity. Low reactivity is one of the most underestimated yet transformative traits a man can develop, and women are acutely sensitive to it. A man who cannot control his reactions reveals his insecurity instantly. when he becomes defensive at small comments, panics under pressure, raises his voice to feel powerful, or allows anger to override logic. He exposes a fragile emotional core. Women do not fear anger itself. What they fear is instability. Instability means unpredictability, and unpredictability erodes trust. A reactive man forces the world to manage his emotions for him, and that becomes exhausting, unattractive, and ultimately unsafe. A low reactive man, however, carries an entirely different energy. He does not rush to argue. He does not crumble when tested. He does not let impulsive emotion dictate his behavior. Instead, he pauses, breathes, observes, and then decides how to respond. This level of control is naturally compelling. It makes a man feel quietly dangerous, not because he's aggressive, but because he possesses restraint. Restraint signals power. A man who can remain composed while others lose their balance becomes someone women instinctively lean toward, someone they feel guided and protected by. His calm response to chaos is not silence, but strategy. He is not suppressing emotion, he is steering it. He's not avoiding conflict, he is choosing not to be controlled by it. Women test men not out of cruelty, but out of instinct. They want to know whether a man's composure is real or fragile, whether his leadership is grounded or performative, whether he can hold emotional pressure without collapsing into childish reactions. A low reactive man passes these tests not by being passive, but by demonstrating self-governance. He responds with intent, not impulse. He speaks with clarity, not defensiveness. He acts with purpose, not panic. This is the kind of emotional strength that earns respect, trust, and long-term attraction. Yet low reactivity does more than stabilize relationships. It transforms a man's entire life. Because once a man masters his reactions, he gains the freedom to build, plan, and move with strategy rather than being dragged by emotion. And that brings us to the next quiet behavior that women find irresistibly compelling: a man with ambition and strategy. Someone who navigates life with intention instead of drifting through it. Ambition and strategy are two qualities that separate men who merely exist from men who build lives worth respecting. Women are drawn not to blind hustle or loud declarations of future success, but to the subtle signs of a man who moves with intention. Life does not reward randomness, and deep down, women instinctively know this. They watch how a man structures his days, how he speaks about the future, how he handles setbacks, and whether he lives as if his life has meaning. A man with ambition carries a different posture, a different energy, a different rhythm in the way he moves. His goals sharpen his focus, his habits reveal his discipline, and his willingness to sacrifice for a better life becomes a quiet but unmistakable signal of long-term strength. This kind of ambition is not about chasing money for validation or chasing status for attention. It is about direction. It is about waking up with purpose and refusing to drift. Women notice men who drift: a man who reacts to life instead of shaping it, who lets days pass without intention, who waits for opportunities instead of creating them. Drifting communicates passivity, and passivity robs a man of both momentum and masculine polarity. But a man with strategy does not wait. He plans, he builds, he adapts. He sees the long game and positions himself for it, even if he is not yet successful. The mindset alone is magnetic. Women can feel when a man is going somewhere, and they can also feel when he is standing still. Ambition gives a man confidence because it gives his life meaning. It strengthens relationships because it forces him to grow. It improves finances, character, identity, and future outcomes because intention naturally produces progress. The harsh truth is that many men with less talent and fewer resources are surpassing those who believe they have untapped potential simply because they are disciplined enough to work. Ambition is not about being the best. It is about refusing to remain the same. That refusal becomes a signal of resilience, independence, and leadership, all traits women find deeply attractive. And now, with all 7 quiet behaviors uncovered from calm energy to self-respect, leadership, eye language, authenticity, emotional control, and ambition, and the full picture of masculine attraction becomes clear. These traits are subtle, but they are transformative. They change how the world responds to a man and how a woman feels in his presence. As we reach the final message, it becomes time to bring these insights together and guide men toward embodying these truths with intention and consistency.